great global qualification. When you think about this team in their region, truly the
Halo semuanya, selamat datang kembali di Watch Party hari ini di game kedua kita ya. Mau nonton EDG versus tim Heretics. Oh iya. Udah nggak botak dia.
You know, changing into new compositions, they're learning so fast. Their growth is so exponential that they should be top of their game right now.
But it's been back-to-back 5th, 6th finishes. That's been the barrier that they haven't been able to break. So the goal for this event for EDG is simple. Win in front of the home crowd. If they can break through that barrier and do it here in Shanghai, in the region they represent, it would be the best moment for these guys. It's been what they've been working at for these last 5 global events that they've attended.
I couldn't agree more there. Now today, all eyes are going to be on Kong. Yinsu did manage to sit down with the star duelist ahead of Masters for a quick chat. Let's go ahead and take a look.
We're in Shanghai, so of course we gotta take a second to have a chat with the one and only Kong. I've got Luna Dujing here to do some translations for me now. We've done this many times, Kong, in many different countries, but this is the first time that we're gonna be doing this, having a huge international tournament in your home region.
beda warnanya anjir.
就第一次在家门口的国际大赛，对我来说应该是特别激动的，因为以前从来都没有那种感受，就是能够在家门口与很多不同地区的选手一同台竞争嘛，所以说这是第一次，然后真的特别激动。
Because this is the first time that the first international tournament held in our home region, and I feel like there are so many players from different regions will come to Shanghai, so it feels really different and excited about it.
I'm super excited to see you guys play. But of course, you've also played in front of many fans, different fans, European fans, American fans, Japanese fans. So tell me, what are the fans here going to be like? Are they going to cheer for other teams too outside of CN?
就是中国的一些粉丝，他们虽然说就也支持自己国家，就是自己赛区的选手嘛，然后他与此同时，他们也有自己喜欢的队伍，就像 Purple-X 啊 Fnatic 啊，他们很喜欢那些很有个性、很愿意去表达自己的一些选手。然后其实我能够感觉到，因为我知道。就是 VCT CN 的那些观众，他们在台下，每次我们在 VCT 联赛 CN 联赛的时候，他们都会欢呼得很大声，所以说我觉得他们不会吝啬自己的欢呼声去给别的赛区的一些。
language barrier emang ya.
Because you know the fans from China, we can see that they're not only just cheering for the VCT of teams from the VCT League, they also have their their favorite teams from other league, just like Fnatic or PRX and other teams. Of course, they will cheering for all of them. And because we play in VCT, we can always feel their enthusiasm, feel their passion on the stage. So of course, they will cheering for them.
I mean, if you play Paper X or Fnatic, that's going to be really interesting to see who they cheer for. Now, lastly, we've seen many different versions of Kong in the past. You know, even your hair, it changes very often from tournaments. Sometimes
even your hair changes very often though, katanya.
Play agents, we don't expect you. So what kind of Kong are we going to see in this tournament? What can we expect from you?
我觉得其实马德里的Kong就比较内敛一点，因为我觉得我头发长了过后会显得比较乖，但是我剪短了头发之后，就是其实我感觉会有2个人格，然后我剪短头发过后，另外一个人格就比较狂、比较外放、比较嚣张的那种人格就会出现吧，然后也正好在比赛场上去感受一下，再次感受一下，就像大家会说我剪了寸头会想回到东京那个时候，我觉得并不是，其实我想在上海有一个新的起点。
Feels like when I was in Master Madrid, when my hair was longer, feel like it's like 2 different personality of me. At the time my hair is longer, maybe I looks like not that outgoing, but now I cut my hair with different hairstyle. Now seems like I'm more outgoing, more wild. So maybe some people will see that I cut my hair. If I want to go back to the Master Tokyo, I want to find the old me, I want to say it's not like that. I just want a new start in this Master Shanghai.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much, Luna, for translating. 谢谢康康，加油，我们加油。
谢谢。
加油 katanya guys ya.
that's the same excuse that I give myself as well. You know, that's why I have no hair. It's because I want a new start.
I mean, that's a sick metaphor.
Rambut itu menggambarkan semangat, guys ya. Semakin pendek rambut lu, semakin mengeluarkan aura-aura yang mengintimidasi musuh, cuy.
Like the answers he gives. This guy has been to so many of these
hidup rambut
going
pendek
all
sih.
the way back. The streak started at Champs Istanbul in 2022, and they have come time and again to these international stages and lost to international teams, but now they're at home. And this is their chance to really show who they are, show who the Chinese region is, show that what they can achieve on their own home soil.
Yeah, well, you could see the young man on that screen right there is another breakout star, just like the way that Kong was experiencing that same success when we saw him take the world stage for the first time. It's actually going to be Woot, and this is a battle that none of us coming into this event were particularly expecting, given that, you know, Mini Boo's on the team and so on and so forth. But now that Woot stepping in,
pesan makanan dulu ya.
Kukuka, we are getting essentially a clash of these young titans here on the stage, which is going to be so exciting.
It's funny how similar their stats are.
May I love a narrative. That is what's so crazy. Kangkan should be on like his element here. And what is just an insanely talented, super young player.
And confident.
Exactly.
Yes.
He has
Jangan
everything.
lupa
He
di-like
sees the
dulu ya
whole
live
package.
streamingnya, guys,
This
ya.
man right here on the left came in as a flex player. In this tournament, he made it out of the Swiss stage with the highest ACS, the highest ADR, the highest kill per round. He's got
Ini
every
Sangju tapi kagak ada
single
dagingnya
thing.
gimana
Round
sih?
after
Gimana
round,
gua
you
makan?
don't see him shake, you don't see him flinch, you just see him on the left side of the kill.
It's just how he approached it too. He approached it with this very just confident demeanor about himself that you don't normally see in a player his age at this stage, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I think it's also impressive how well he like fit into the team's
it's like a glove.
right? He's so experienced being that initiator, setting his teammate Mini Boo up, that when he swapped onto Duelist, it felt like all the same executes, all the same mid-round reclears. This team has a really deep playbook, but despite that, despite the fact that he's slotting into a new role, it just has seemed seamless for this guy.
I mean, I'm just surprised of what they're able to pull out. I think that also some of the player that we need to talk about is Rians. I think that he is playing beautifully, and he's probably one of the reasons why Woods is playing like this. Not to mention Patty Tech, like the impact that he's finding in every single round for Heretics. It hasn't been easy, right?
There's a lot of support there for him, right? There's even been some support of his teammate online, the guy he's replacing.
Yes.
Mini Boo's even come out online and talked about. He's like, hey, Woo, by the way, buddy, you can just keep playing it if you want.
Yeah, exactly. What are you gonna tell him, right? Also, just remember, right? It's the first time that he's actually in the global stage.
Yeah.
But he's all right. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, this is the tweet right here, as a matter of fact. Yeah, Woo, you just played Duelist fully.
Sometimes you gotta concede. Sometimes you gotta give in.
my guy is just so humble. He knows exactly what the team needs, and the team needs more Woot in their life. I'm just like his name.
But there's still a lot to prove. I think a lot of their games have been very defined
Does
by.
he need to prove it as a Jooomers?
No, Woot, absolutely not. He's proven it game after game. I mean, the last match they played, I think he was plus 28 to pull off the win against FPX. He's insane. But we have seen some trouble with this team. Against G2. They crumbled. They start making some mistakes. Like, it's still not the team.
Sushi enak sushi
this
ini.
is like a top 4 squad at the event, but you see the moments, you see the coordination, you see good reads, you see Woot playing the way he is. Team Heretics is the ultimate team with potential that could go on like a dark horse run here.
Yeah, exactly. And do not forget, after the result that we had on the first match, only 100 Thieves from the first seeds has managed to win their first encounter.
That's crazy.
So just, you know, I'm saying that all the stars are aligning.
Hey, it could very well look that way. Maybe not. We'll find out. But for now, though, let's go ahead and hear from Woot himself as Mika standing by.
Hey, I'm here right now with Woot of Team Heretics. Now, last week, Woot, we saw you debut as duelist, and you did amazing, but now you will be up against potentially one of the most popular duelists, and it is going to be on his home court. So how are you feeling about that?
I'm really excited to play against Kang, but I think it's a good chance to prove myself, and I will prove myself in the game.
Well, good luck. We're excited to see that matchup too.
Anjir, singkat, padat, dan jelas ya.
The eye contact with the camera.
Kalah tadi PRX.
How does
I love how everything's being analyzed like he does.
I am very happy to go up against him. I'm ready.
How does it go?
My boy is cold-blooded out there, man.
this guy?
I mean, when I was his age, I was way more pimply and did not have the confidence he had. Yeah, that too. I was not very bright.
How old is he?
It's like
he just turned 18. He couldn't even play in the league.
Yeah.
That is, I had forgotten about that because he's just playing so well. But literally, that's why they didn't have him at Madrid.
Across the globe, talking about all this players, and he was watching from home because he hadn't even finished high school. Like he was just 15.
Wild
This team is so young. Los Niños. They're
Niños.
like all these new players who have stepped up in the last few years, and Uncle Boo on the team.
The best one.
I just think it's so impressive that these guys are so young and that this team is so well put together that they don't look shaken at all against these great teams on a big stage. But I do think today is a big test against the home crowd against EDG.
But they've also done this a few times now, right? They've been in the blender a few times against some of the other Chinese
They've
teams.
played them both.
They've played them both. So
them
they've
both.
essentially had to deal with that hometown energy that was being given to their opponents. And, you know, like, they still managed to rise to the occasion when the moment calls for a Cuckoo. I think, like, that is the thing about this team. No one was really sure what we were going to get out of them, especially with Minibu not being here. But what we got is a team that knows how they want to play with the pieces that they have right now.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, it's very complicated to, you know, hear all the crowd cheering for the other team. Nothing personal, we have to say, you know?
Of course.
It's just
Cheer
the
for
matches that they
guys.
were given. But time after time, they've also been under a lot of pressure. I think that playing an opponent like FPX, when you added in that crowd factor, is what could have set the tone and the difference.
Yeah, it absolutely can. I also think that, well, EDG is the best team from the CN region. We see a lot of similarities. I think especially in the way they call their attacking sides. Most of the CN teams play a lot of these really slow, like 4-1, like they're like 3-1-1.
Tadi bilang katanya mau 15.
Going into
Benar.
hard hits, and that's really similar to how FPX play. I think it's a little bit more refined with EDG. You see more variety, where we're going for some harder hits sometimes, and you see less of the silly rounds where they're fully running down the clock and losing out. But there are still similarities. You can't give things away in the mid-round when you're a defender, and I think Team Heretics have to be used to that style by now, which could be an advantage today.
Yeah, it could very well be.
Yeah, still the problem is, of course, we have seen some maps from them, but just remember what happened on Split, for example, right?
Against G2.
Yes. It's a map that we understand that some things are not ready, are not prepared, some things you don't even expect to even, you know, get to that third map. It's a very unlucky situation to be in, but we can understand that they're just not ready in some aspects.
Yeah, for sure,
Makan,
for sure. And, you know, as a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and hear from Wu, because the funny thing is that he actually doesn't want to play Duelist. This is his Omen player moment. Check it out.
Jam 8 lah paling ini.
Hey guys, I am Wood from Heretics. Probably because of the ice packs, I lost my 5 years from my life. Like, it was so stressful. Also, like, playing Duelist is making me like so nervous and making so much pressure on me. So I just want to play Flex, not Duelist. I'm so happy to play against Chinese teams because the crowd is going insane. Also, they are playing good and different. So we are just so happy to win against them and get the playoff.
I don't think he hears him. Oh, but now he's giving his position away. Now he knows where he is. Meanwhile, Mood on the other side with 4. Lysor drops one. Can he 1v3 to close this out? No! The ace for Woot!
About Kang, he cracked 2 times. It was so close match. I think he didn't diff me, but I didn't diff him as well, so he's strong, I know, but we will see in the match. Like, about my performance, I'm really proud of myself because it's international event, it's like second biggest event of Valorant. And I was watching it when I was younger, when I was 15, so I'm just playing here and 17, 3 maps, so I'm so proud of myself. We're really missing you, Minibu.
Gue bisa daily dulu nggak sih
We're
ini?
waiting for you for stage 2. We will just do our best for you, bro.
Oh, gue main di chat aja.
Of course, the team playing for their teammate, but again, it's just that confidence from him.
He was 15 when Valorant was out?
Yeah. That's how time works.
I need him to be my life coach.
Really?
Yeah, like, did you see, like, of course, I'm super proud of myself, you know? I dropped 73 maps. I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Man.
Also, by the way, we miss you. We can't wait to have you back. How is this guy so
Guy straight up
happy?
just says, I'd rather play Flex. Like, yeah.
The player he reminds me of is Zekken. Both really young, both started their Valorant careers super early and really stepped up into teams, proved the ability to play a variety of different roles and also to perform at a super high level consistently. I think that is kind of there's so many players like this in Valorant. It's honestly shocking that we keep finding new talent like this, and they keep being able to show up to this big of a stage
until next year
and play at this level.
All I'm saying is there's a kid right now that's watching this show and thinking to themselves, that's going to be me one
asal
day.
Indonesia cuma LANJUT doang kan
We
di
can't
sini.
wait to be
We
talking
can't
about
wait till you show up and pop off on the main stage, because I have a feeling it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Unbelievable, seriously. And we're seeing the results come in from the poll. Obviously, some Heretics fans in the chat sounding off, but this is going to be a tough one. You know, we don't want to sugarcoat it. EDG, they got to be coming into this one as the heavy favorite given the circumstances of Heretics, but also it's EDG.
Yeah, EDG is definitely the favorite into this matchup. In front of their home crowd, with time to warm up, with some great performances in Stage 1 for China, this is their chance to start a run.
Time to warm up, but outside of the server. Heretics, yes, they still have a lot to prove, a lot to improve as well. But, you know, they've had a very good run so far.
Indeed they have. Can that run continue? That's what's going to be on all of our minds. Can EDG quell the fire that burns within Team Heretics? Let's go ahead and send it down to the stage and bring out our squads.
Team Heretics. Edward Gaming.
Here we go. Ini keren ya.
It's the hometown heroes versus the plucky underdogs. You got Team Heretics taking on EDG, and this crowd is surely going to be on the side of the #1 Chinese team. And everyone has been anticipating this one, the battle between Woot and Kong, what we're going to see between the ideas of these two squads. And here's your series layout: Sunset, Split, and if necessary, we'll be taking a trip over to Breeze.
Time after time, Heretics just
Sunset,
wants to go to
Split.
Sunset. We understand. We saw it the other day. It's the second one that I'm extremely
Kok tumben
concerned
ya
about.
nggak
I
dikasih lihat
understand very
ini
well
band pick
of why
mapnya.
EDG wants to go into this.
Yeah, the last time we saw this from Heretics was against G2, and they really fell apart. I think Patatak on the raise and kind of the ideas between the teams, it looked shaky. It looked on the fly. It looked unpracticed, and that shouldn't be a surprise. This team said going into the Start of Swiss stage, they only had 1 day of practice. Now they've had 2 more, and they've had some matches to warm up. But still, this is a squad who made a last-minute substitution, who has that kind of chip on their shoulder, but who also, I think, can play with nothing to lose because of that against an EDG who has so much pressure on them.
But hear me out. You're Heretics. You've made it this far. Are you really going to count yourself out? I don't think so.
Like, but now there's a difference between counting yourself out and realizing that there's not pressure for us to go on a run and we can just play our damnedest. I think that's a mentality that's brought them this far already.
I think that they can see themselves as winners.
I mean, they most definitely could, right? I mean, look, everyone's here in this competition for a reason. These are, you know, from stage 1 to now, these are the best teams of the stage. They have fought tooth and nail to get to this point, right? But I think that at the end of the day, when you break down both sides of the field here, Heretics, they're going to be playing with house money, right? They've made it this far in this tournament, to your point, Mimi. So they can't just keep going with that more.
I mean, that mentality won champions for EDG last year. We've seen it before. And I really think that this tournament, when I'm watching EDG, is about managing expectations and managing pressure. You have this massive crowd waiting for you to come and step up, and they're starting on a bang. It's a comp change for EDG. They're taking a page out of their compatriots FPX's book and going for a double controller comp with an Astra and an Omen. I've never seen a comp like this before on Sunset.
I mean, I have to say, this is the same that they were running. They just changed the Viper.
Kenapa namanya jadi ZMJJKK itu?
Utility. Maybe they understand that the changes might be too extreme. Now, is Heretics going to be prepared for this because they decided to come here?
Well, we're ready to get into the first map, which means it's time to let our casters cook. Here's Doug and Baby Bay on the call.
Thank you so much, guys. This is going to be a really exciting match. Obviously, EDG, the #1 seed out of China, Dre, playing in their home studio. But also starting off on Sunset is fascinating. I believe it was maybe mentioned it on the desk. Heretics have already beat
itu namanya Zotmierison Kengkeng, cuy.
Or something like that.
A stomping, and that was mainly because of Woot. He just had his way with both those
teams. Let's go.
I mean, he's going to go for a 3-peat right here, but they are going to be starting on the defensive side.
Anjir, kalau lu dari homelandnya sih bangga banget sih lu main di Pro kayak gini.
But I imagine we're going to see some very similar ideas. Basically trying to get that elbow control at A and then depositing.
Anjir, agentnya rame banget ini.
Funneling players towards
keren banget ini, pasti seru ini.
It feels like the first time a team has had the opportunity to pivot away from the Viper comps that they normally run, given the fact that they come in as the #1 seed. You know,
gue banget tuh
lempar
flash check situ.
We'll see if it pays off.
Yes.
As EDG is on the attacking side, and they've got Kong with light armor and a classic.
And it has to be a slow approach for EDG because there's so much info utility out of the side of Heretics. You want to bait it out like they're doing right now, and then just stabilize the round and try to find an opening when those items are on cooldown.
A flurry of bullets.
Yeah.
Going across the middle of the map, and a couple of members have taken damage.
Berasa lagi makan vandal.
A little bit worse for wear.
Dia.
But they have turned their attention towards A. There is some presence from the defensive side. Woot and Boo are here. With Rian's not too far off.
He tucked the Gecko Flash. Woot is free.
Oh, it's so effortless for Woot in that position. Even spotting Kong on the third, dealing a little bit of damage, not getting the kill. Now coming through, 3 on the round.
30 seconds
you mentioned how good Woo was in the last 2 matches against Chinese squads on this map. He hasn't missed a step.
Yeah, the skill level of Woot is off the charts right here. I mean, he gets 4 to secure the round on Haodong. And EDG going into this round, they did a really good job of baiting out some of those rechargeables, but I mean, Woot, I don't know if it was prep or what, but on that
serem kali ini.
He was able to tuck away from the Gecko Flash and not be seen at all. And I mean, no one's going to be looking there because it didn't connect. And then after this, I mean, he's just hitting some nice shots.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Let's go, baby. Come on. And the handshakes are coming out in the first round. An excellent start for the #2 seed.
Gila, handshake sekali menang kayak gitu, guys. Capek banget tuh kalau 15 kali begitu terus ya.
Giving him a Guardian full armor too.
Jeez, it could be so deadly in the hands of Woot. It will be early A control for the defending side, and for the opposite, just a slow walk into B main. But bomb is all the way in mid.
Yeah, that's scary.
And there's a Cypher trip that should be ahead of this. Doesn't get broken quite yet.
Edgy Fishy is watching that way. The spike rotating back towards main. And Benji the first to take contact. Nade invested in his direction. But EDG have funneled out onto the site. They've taken a lot of the space. They've even gotten Smoggy really far up, playing in the smoke. But Patatek over the top, not able to connect onto the second.
It's scrappy.
But it seems to be slowing down.
What was that from Smoggy?
He's going to have to 1v2 with the classic to win this one out. And he's not going to be given much of a shot. Heretics will get their second. Woot, off of that, is going to have his ult online in the 3rd round.
And that's the perfect round to have a showstopper because...
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the first full buy for EDG. If it's a nice setup play for Woot, maybe off of a cam or even some other utility that we've seen them do, like through a smoke, maybe with a dart, you can really destroy EDG's economy and potentially snowball this game out of control on the defending side. And also, Heretics have done a really good job of taking A space early on and pivoting to the top mid area and kind of just trying to re-clear the entire area, fighting. They're seeking those fights out, so they're very proactive so far on their defensive side. And this is
masa kerja sambil mandi.
Cypher camera.
You can tell he's going to want to go. He has nothing but a ghost.
Yep.
Full armor.
Gue daily dulu ya.
Nothing to lose here.
Anjir itu tauntingnya sih next level ya.
Guardian on this side of the map if he has that showstopper.
Yeah.
Why not give it to somebody that's playing on A, and that's Patatek, who, by the way, he's been great with his mechanics. I mean, all tournament long, he's been hitting some really nice headshots.
Oh.
It will be a slow approach for EDG, and honestly, for all the viewers out there, get used to this. Early on in the matches on Sunset, they like to play this way. They like to play slow, bait out utility, see what they can do, see what they're working with, and then they transition in the middle of the half and start playing more aggressive, and they change the pace. That's something EDG is really good at doing, but that camera...
Oh, it's going to split it. Not connecting or anything. Remember, it was just a ghost on the other side.
Yeah.
Wingman will go out, or at least try to. Not tagging on anyone as a spike has not made its way past the threshold. Kong with 2 kills. Chi-Chu weak, but a little bit of space for the attack. A nade in his hand, too.
And Patatek right now, he's just waiting for Buddha, link up with him, and potentially start the retake. But Kong, oh, the nade misses, so he's going to have to hard clear the close left.
Oh, iya tuh.
Hitting an awkward little crevice.
That's unfortunate. So Omen Flash will be the cue for the retake. Patatek gets the entry. I spoke about how he's so good at one-tapping players. And all of a sudden, that freeze that EDG did, it's working against them.
Smoggy has the tank, tries to get the spike.
Oh, anjir.
The bonus the way of Heretics. What a
blunder
start.
gitu.
That was a huge impact from Benji to get that trade and aim in. Sorry,
tapi lu lihat ya, abis di paranoia dia nge-tap gitu.
But yeah, I mean, we saw in full effect what giving the gun to Patatek does in this scenario.
Asli mana Jot? Ini
And
Medan.
I like EDG's approach of slowing down the round, waiting for a mistake from Heretics, but the time just clocked down too low, and it ultimately worked against them.
I mean, they hard froze.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, just like that, you're on another eco round. There will be stingers. In full effect, though.
They're all
oh no, oh no.
Karon's the only one who has found success as Heretics shut the door on EDG once more.
One suppressed.
I mean, Wu is just the linchpin of this team of Heretics on this duelist role. And yeah, he said that he feels a lot of the pressure, and that makes sense. Much like how Patatek felt the pressure at Chi-Chu right here.
But you wouldn't believe it watching the kid play.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just, I mean, he's ice cold. If that's what he's like being nervous, I can't even imagine what he's like when he's not.
Yeah. What does it look like when he's confident?
The lad is mad. And right now, EDG, they're going to have to re-clear all their spawn. They're worried about a flank from Benji Fishy.
Yeah, he could be anywhere at this point. There hasn't been any info gathered.
And the cool thing about this situation is that I think he also has a cam that sees the mid walk-up from B, so they don't really have to play on this B site at all.
Yeah.
They can just play the disciplined game, play together.
30 seconds.
I mean, both these players of EDG are sitting at 5 HP apiece. I mean, that's not something you see every day. I don't know how they're so synced up like that. But the IGL of Haodong, he's going to have to try to do anything they can to win this round.
Planted the spike.
Okay.
And I imagine it's just going to be so hard. I mean, Rians has Sova Dart, he's got the drone, he's got 2 shocks. I mean,
yeah, a lot of advantages wavy. The 2 that remain in pretty effortless fashion. Now he's going to get the defuse and his ult online for the next round. Heretics have started off masterfully. I mean, they've got plenty of money. They're going to have, they've already had 1 ult in Woots. Now they're going to have Riensis to play around as well.
Here's that replay of Woot just running through the smoke, helping his teammate Boo out, who got Omen flashed early in that round. I mean, he almost went down right there, but the stinger shot's just not able to
dulu gua.
Benji Fishy is vibing right now. So nice to see.
Early timeout called from after. Given that they're down 4 rounds, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What adjustments have to be made.
Yeah, and they have to. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on EDG as well in this match because Heretics is the team that took down their brothers. They took down both the Chinese teams that, I mean, EDG beat, so they have to kind of be like that big brother and help their little bro out. But so far, I mean, it's just been the Woot show. 7-2. I mean, Rian's cleaned up that last round, and that'll put him on a showstopper. I mean, sorry, the Hunter's Fury.
Yeah.
He's wrong character.
I mean, and Boo hasn't even died yet. It's just looked really good out of Heretics early on. I think, obviously not phased, not concerned about who's playing on the other side of the stage. They look really comfortable. They look great.
And this is kind of to be expected. This is Heretic's map pick. EDG, the last time they played it, I mean, I think they may have won it in overtime. It was like 16-14, but it wasn't pretty at all. And right now, I mean, the Viper is kind of maybe would have been better for EDG with the way that I've seen them play it so far. I mean, you don't have that value of putting the wall up, dropping it, and being able to lurk up, walk up on a timing.
It's just so tough to say.
Yeah. They're trying to set it up, though.
Yeah.
They're trying to set it up with the Astra one-way here on the left side. But, I mean, we saw Woot just completely disrespect it.
Right.
Granted, it was an eco round, so, I mean, maybe he would have gotten punished on the gun round.
Careful. But my guess is that's not the last time he's going to try to push that smoke the way he did.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Heretic's already instantly backing off of A, ready for, like, a mid-crunch.
Nobody with this Thrash online. They're going to have to deal with some of the Cypher util again.
But this is why you see Heretics playing off the site. They don't want that Thrash to get value.
Right, and they have Rian's his ult.
Yep.
So as soon as they realize where the hit is, he can just pop that thing.
Yeah, I wonder if they decide to flood in. Ooh, that knife hitting.
I think that was intentional. So nobody gets tagged by the knife to suggest they're staying B, and you see it on the minimap, they're all rotating back A.
Yeah, it keeps a couple players from Heretics staying. There's no rotation towards that A site. This should be a free hit, potentially even a kill, a punish on the Boo here, who hasn't dropped yet.
That noise should be cute. Instantly, Woot starts to rotate back.
Oh yeah! 30 seconds.
And now the Thrash invested, you see him funneling away, giving the space. Boo not wanting to reckon with that. Manages to avoid it. No tags found. And now the Hunter's Fury from Spawn. Boo spotting Kong Kong.
Lapar, mau sambil makan.
The time, Doug.
Again, becomes a factor with 10 seconds left. They haven't really made it out of elbow yet. Wood's still trying to dash around, trying to dance around, staying alive at least for a little bit longer, but ultimately falling with 3 seconds left. Are they going to be able to get the spike down? They will. About a second was the difference. And now 4v3, the way they attack. Heretics patient with their approach, patient with the attempt at a flood. Benji will fall. Patek and Boo left in a 2v4. An ult still at the disposal of EDG for Chichu in case it's needed. But they're just so comfortable with this. EDG are on the board.
Yeah, and at the end there for the post plant, I mean,
jadi gue sambil nonton, sambil daily WW.
Impossible to break through. And that came down to the wire, but they're so clutch in these moments. Not a doubt in their minds that they had the time to go for this. And that entry, I mean, that was so clean onto Rians. That was everything. So finally, EDG will get on the board and have a chance to string some rounds together. Kong Kong is sitting on a showstopper. Chichu does have that Astral ultimate. But Woot is already doing a walk down mid.
There's the ult. He's kind of on his own here. Separated really far. I don't think the knife is going to tag much. I think that was also really conditioning with how Woot continues to play back box.
Yeah.
Kong Kong guessing that's where he was going to be.
Yeah, why not clear it? I mean, he's gotten so much value in that spot. All map long so far.
Yeah, it doesn't connect, but the space has been cleared. Now EDG with a bit of an advantage.
What a good molly.
Yeah,
and a nade.
Gosh, both of them. Nobody unable to survive the spam. Incapable of staying alive. Kong Kong playing up close as the cage goes down, so does he. EDG again have been picked apart. So it's a 2v4 though. If they can settle, they've got it close, but Smoggy and Haodong fall at the worst time.
Anjir, iPad gue gak kuat main WoW, anjir.
That was a very convincing retake for Heretics. I mean, yeah, there's only 2 players alive, but the initial fight, that initial exchange against the 4 players in that A lane, it just went their way. Their spacing was perfect. The trades were on point. The utility to flush out a kill for Boo in the beginning, and then he's just sitting on top of that box that could see over the smoke. Very well played from Team Heretics on that retake. Especially with how the last, retake went. EDG had such good crossfires this time.
Slow grafiknya.
Not exactly a crossfire onto that lane area.
Oh, I think you're right too. You mentioned the spacing and how good it looks for Heretics. Even in that fight as the cage goes down, the ability to trade every single member in case it got messy.
And as an attacker on this map, now you have to be worried about all that discipline.
Off semua loh ini.
It like kind of soaks into your brain. You're like, oh, if I really do go for a random peek, there's going to be 2, maybe 3 guys holding me.
Gara-gara 60 FPS jadi
It's kind of hamstrings the way you want to approach a situation. Cosmic Divide, invested B.
Oh, they're ready to fight this, though.
They're getting ahead of it, too. They've got the dart, they've got the cage to cover and then spam if anything connected, but nothing through. Spike's still planted, though.
Nggak bisa nih emang nih.
They've invested Patatek's ult, but they're playing so close that Shock is up close and personal. 2 members of EDG fall.
Resolution gua high, grafiknya low.
Trying to hang on to the round, it's just nobody who's here. Chichu's gonna be on a really late flank. Nobody has to play his life, and he can't. There's just not enough time. There's not enough space. The defuse will come through without a challenge.
Aduh, nggak enak banget main 30 FPS.
It was the moving death ball approach from Heretics that secured them that round, and yeah, the showstopper doesn't connect from Woot. But I mean, that Cypher ult, that was everything. You just spam nobody through the smokes, doesn't matter where he is. Yeah, he had nowhere to play. And right here, I mean, Rian's got away with murder with that little wide swing.
Dude, I don't know how.
He just broke the crosshairs of EDG in that moment.
And then let Benji Fishy and Patatek.
Guys, sorry, OT Inlin pakai artifak apa ya? Buat naikin senjatanya. Gue kayaknya ngumpulin artifak itu aja dulu deh.
EDG have found the tiniest sliver of success, but other than that, it's been all Heretics all the way.
And they've tried a lot of different looks. I mean, you've tried doing a fast A default. You've tried slowing the round down, feinting that you're going A, and then going back to mid. Then you've done B main hits, so like nothing is working right now for EDG.
Here.
And that's mainly because Heretics, I mean, they're playing the map so well. They're proactive after they take A space. Boo is just living on A. He gets out of the sight. The only real success EDG has had was with this Thrash towards the A side of the map. That's why you see them funneling here again. Oh!
Genshin.gg.
He almost got the timing.
And he's still going to take a little bit of nade damage. The plant got interrupted. It's going to be on nobody to pick it back up and try a second time.
He still has that Thrash, though, for the post plant.
Yeah. And they've managed to create enough space, so even if he wasn't able to fully commit to the plant, Wingman wasn't, now they can move a little bit more. Thrash going in forward. Howdong the first to fall. Nobody trying to swing through smokes. He's going to spot 2, but only able to connect on 1. 3v3 for the round. TP invested by Smoggin. Where is he going? Just enough to create a distraction. Konkon feeling a lot of the pressure, able to get another kill with 36 HP. That's all he'll find. Rians is healthy. 2 on the other side. He's already spotted the hand of 1. Not able to land the shots.
Double swing, surely.
Yeah, such a tough position to be in. They're going to face him here. He's gotten it to have 9 bullets left, though. Even if they try, time is just not on his side. EDG play that beautifully. Chichu gets 3 as EDG find their second.
And that's the second beautiful post plan on that A site that secures EDG around. They play those crossfires so well. This time, in that A lane, the trades go into their favor, make it a 3v3, and I mean, you saw at the end there,
Inlin pakai Mac Abomination. Dia punya.
The whole time, Chichu was just playing in the back here, just toying with Rians. That was a very disciplined post plan. I really like that from EDG. Those are good signs. If they can emulate that on the B side of the map, they might have success there too.
All right. Really high flash with Blue taking space and the Dizzy over the top to try to keep it back, but it got cleared instantly.
Tadi yang menang
that pickup star, it might be conditioning for future rounds. Maybe you'll see some players behind it the next time you see that. Try to catch off Woot or Boo, get a kill, and then that'll open up the entire map for EDG. But this time around, that slow approach that we've seen in the first couple rounds of the half.
But even then, you know, you talked, Dre, earlier about how they have tried a number of different looks. They've tried being aggressive, they've tried the more slow, defaulty look. Even this, while it's a little bit slower, much like we've seen in some of the earlier rounds of the half, the way they're exploring the map is different.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's a change of pace for sure. And I mean, the success that they had was, I mean, the 2 rounds was off of that Thrash. But it's like the rounds where they don't have the ults where it kind of just falls apart for them.
Right. You mentioned that they need to try to find some success B because it's look good on A. Can they do it here?
30 seconds.
They do
Before leaning towards the site, you see the utility already dumped down, but Benji Fishy playing back site, getting 2.
Standing ahead.
This is going to be such a tough thing to hold to 3v5.
I don't think they know that Konkong's in this spot, though. And nobody's in market, so Konkong needs to go huge here for EDG.
Paranoia traded. Kong. Oh, he's able to get one, but the clip runs dry. He's not able to connect anymore. Benji Fishy with 3, Chichu left alone. The lack of success on B continues. Chichu's able to get his one. Rians holding the defuse all the way. Benji Fishy with 4. Heretics continue to roll.
That's all because of the disruption that Benji Fishy and Rians had on that initial B hit. You don't expect just a Sova and a Cypher to do stuff like this. I mean, you had full utility on the site. You have all 5 players alive. The bomb is going down, and all of a sudden you're being faced with this fire of Benji Fishy and Rians. Heretics, their game plan is to disrupt, not allow it to go into that 5-on-5 post-plant scenario. Because that's where the double controller shines. I mean, you can delay so many lanes and kind of cycle the utility. And if EDG baits out early utility from Heretics, I mean, they might not have even a flash to run through those smokes. So yeah, that's what they're trying to set up. This time it will be a walk into elbow, but if Kong decides to walk up here without using utility, he's going to be met by a judge. Should be a couple 1-pumps here, but I imagine they might use something.
Nothing. They're using nothing other than their bodies. Kong somehow manages to get his one. The pad attack on the trade. The timing is beautiful. The swing is almost perfect.
Bomb buddy out.
Even with him getting away with just one with the judge. I mean, Heretics are just, they're just destroying EDG on this half, man.
That follow-up utility off the contact of Boot, that was some of the most clean stuff I've seen.
The flash, the molly, I mean, the dart.
And it was in tandem, right? It was like, off of Woot's contact, we have a right-click flash out of Potty Tech. Not only do we have that, but Rians has a lineup dart that lands in the back of elbow, and then he's able to go for even more with another right-click. I mean, this was beautiful. Oh, it tags! That's what happened?
Tragic.
The dart tag, Kong, I didn't even see that. That is definitely tragic. I was wondering if he had like a lineup dart or something. That will be the second timeout for EDG. They're going to have no more going forward.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to. I mean, an 8-2 is a very decisive and convincing lead for Heretics. But just to remind everybody,
EDG.
This is not EDG's map pick. And they did switch it up.
Udah ketemu
this is
nih.
the first time that they've ran an Astra over the Viper on this map.
Material yang kayak Beyblade
that is
gitu
playing a
bentuknya.
factor. They're just not used to playing it in a match setting.
Maybe. They've had a couple of cool ideas. You mentioned some of the recalled smokes, but yeah, it's been really tough for them to find success. And I think we can attribute some of that to the comp change, but I think the big takeaway here is Heretics just continues to dominate on Sunset. We mentioned earlier they've bested the other 2 Chinese teams that are playing in this tournament, and now they're having their way with EDG as well.
Matanya. Dia udah pakai kacamata, cuy.
The anchor players for Team Heretics, they kind of allow the rest of the players to be enabled and do a lot of stuff on the retakes.
It's like they're running into a brick wall every single time they try to hit a site. And the brick wall is sometimes it's Rians, sometimes it's Benji Fishy, sometimes it's Woot. Like,
ada yang pernah ngelihat mereka streaming nggak? Apakah mereka monitor begitu juga?
And the way that Boo plays this A side of the map where he's consistently just jump peeking and then backing up, delaying you with the Omen flash, and this time he's going to get aggressive. I mean, all these things play a factor of him not getting punished and baiting out your own utility.
A big round here for the attack. 2 ults online, 2 within 1 point. Patek getting a lot of info mid there.
So confident. And that proactivity, I mean, it makes you have to just seize and just wait. Makes you rethink how you want to approach the round. The thing is off of that first layer of utility, EDG don't go back up mid. And Heretics kind of give it. So they don't have a read on what Heretics is really doing after that first set of delay utility.
The nade to clear the trip, the satchel forward, but Benji Fishy again has not been cleared now. Going down at the hands of Chichu. The rocket not going to connect either. As 100 Fury has been invested by Rians. Woot playing further back. Unfortunately having to watch as Kong gets the best of his teammate. But they're still keeping him back. Instantly on the trade, a 2v2 as the nade comes back out. How do Patek and Boo get back in on this? The Paranoia only connecting on one.
Whoa.
Smoggy over Kong's shoulder, delivers the shot. Leaving Patek alone, a 1v2, a tap of the spike, the swing coming through. Not able to connect on the shots. Kong with 3 as EDG get there as well.
Chill.
Kong,
Tidak boleh teriak-teriak dulu, Jot. Tenang.
Brought his team back into it.
Belum
Heretics did a
teriak.
good job of re-clearing the lurk in mid. But the answer back from Kong, that was huge. Look at this right here. Nice shot on the Woot. And then Smoggy, this kill right here to support Kong, who was completely Omen flashed. Nice work from EDG.
Last round of the half, 3 ults on the side of the attack.
And they have a Thrash. They're 2 for 2 on Thrash round wins right now.
Aslinya nggak sedekat itu. Kalau lagi kayak gini doang berarti.
EDG do a really good job of using that first Thrash ult and then picking it back up and using it for even more value. And not only on a map like this, but other maps in the future. It's something to look out for if you're Team Heretics. They like to take initial space with it and then pick it back up, maybe go somewhere else. Something that they've done a lot, and this is another showstopper trap, but this time, Howdong, he's way ahead of it.
Meanwhile, they invest in
mundur.
on the other side, feeling some of the pressure coming in on one side, filling in on the rest of the map. Kong has already gotten all the way up into elbow.
And here it is, he's able to pick up the Thrash again and have it for the post plant.
The thing is, they don't have the Paranoia to clear out the box. So they're going to have to try to get through that.
Gila, gue kok ketembak gitu panik
But it
nih.
bounced a little bit off the mark. Here's more. Still tucked behind the Cosmic Divide. Patek will get tagged, but now without taking one with him. Leaving Wood in a 1v3. Wood, who started off the half in electric fashion, is going to have to close it bookended if he wants to win this thing out. Otherwise, EDG will get to 4.
Oh, this nade will have Kong have to peek.
That's heat-seeking, but Kong gladly takes that swing.
Gila,
3 on the round for Duelist as
langsung,
EDG salvaged the first half.
Yeah, 4 rounds. I mean, with the way that it was looking for Heretics, they
Itu
were
minumnya
up,
banyak
what,
banget guys di samping,
8-2?
ada 5 itu.
So they definitely salvaged the half, and that was off the back of Kong. Who else? Who other than Kong?
Tuh lihat udah stun,
Beautiful play on the
buta.
site. And even in the post plants, even if Kong drops there, you imagine that Howdong and whoever else was on site, I forget who it was, would just play that discipline. EDG are a very disciplined team in these scenarios.
Kong popping off, getting the crowd back into it. As you mentioned, EDG have gotten all the way up to 4 rounds, and it's been in the best that Heretics has been able to throw. We've got Mika standing by with Chinese professional basketball player Guo Ailun.
We have another special guest in the audience right now. We have Guo Ailun, who is a professional basketball player.
Guo
Thank you
Ailun.
so much for being here. What does it feel like seeing esports and gaming on a stage like this in Shanghai?
Ailun Guo.
首先请问一下，觉得在上海线下观看我们的电竞比
姚
赛
明了
来到五位竞技场，感受怎么样呢？
Ini siapa?
开心、热血，为什么呢？因为这是一项国际上的大赛啊！因为很高兴就看到这么多来自世界不同国家的顶尖的5位契约选手聚在上海，然后这个城市，这个热情的城市，我觉得让我现在自己来说也替他们非常高兴和热血沸腾啊！
I was really happy and feel the passion about the, it's an international tournament. Also,
Yang ini
all of the top
importernya
players
lebih-
from all of the leagues, and
lancar
I feel like deep in my heart, I feel so happy for them.
Oh, that's so wonderful. And of course, you, as an athlete as well, what is your mentality going into a big competition like this? What is the advice that you can give these players?
那想请问您，作为一位职业选手，您是以什么样的心态再去面对各种世界性的赛事呢？以及有没有一些助言和建议能给到我们的职业选手呢？
参加这种国际的比赛，跟国外的顶尖选手对抗，他们肯定心里或多或少说上场之前有一些紧张嘛，然后带着我们这些国人的粉丝的期待嘛，然后我希望他们能我在场上可能就是把自己尽量想的简单一些，然后不要心里有那么多杂念，然后就是去上场以后放松着去干这件事儿，不要想着后果，不要想着自己是谁。 把放下所有的包袱，要这样才能发挥出所有的自己的能力吧。希望他们，我希望给他们没有谈不上建议吧，希望就是让他们像平常训练一样放松一些，来面对这些比赛。不要自己的结果更多的预想，然后就会发挥到出自己最好的水平，结果就会顺其自然的好啊。
I think when you faced against all of the top players from all of the league.
Kalau begini gimana guys? Mereka masih ngobrol tapi timeoutnya udah habis.
I think when you participate in international
sopan ya?
tournament like this, you need to like just take it easy. Don't think too much. Just play as good as you play as Euro. And
Dalam
I
hati
think
nih,
you will
anjing udah di queue gua sama prompter. Udah harus ini.
Back to the game.
Tuh, udah back to the game kan?
齐家告我再抢点镜吗？快开始了吗？没有问题，没有时间问我了。
你想说可以直接跟大家分享一下吧？
啊，这其实还有一个问题准备好，他们问我什么时候是最让我激动的时刻。
back to the game，
我也想好，我是如果今天唯一代表现在我们中国的战队 EDG 夺冠那天是我最激动的时刻，我希望能大家一起等着那天到来。
Oh, what an entry into the second half. We'll see if they're able to carry that momentum. EDG
MC-nya udah,
but now
anjing gue dimarahin nih, prompternya udah mau kelar nih weh. Udah main.
Again, a map that they have found so much success on. Forced to close this one out.
And this is a big
test lah, ya udahlah, kasihlah waktu lah, ini kan hometown-nya dia. Dipotong yang mau gimana anjir?
After closing out those last 2 rounds of the half.
Heretics haven't made very much noise this round at all.
They did dart B early on and get info there. And that's what ended up leaving 3 players of EDG there. So this A hit that comes in for Heretics, this could be really deadly.
The only bit of noise they made. The smoke goes up. Really right on time. Nobody's going to be paranoid. Trying to dance around it. Still getting a shot. The frenzy connecting. But Heretics have gotten all the space they could possibly want. Kong falling as well as Chichu's on the swing.
Good timing. Omen flashed.
But the flash on the other side. Oh, Chichu still gets 3. The pistol the way of EDG.
Full steam ahead was Chichu. He found the timing. He slipped the net. And then he swings onto sight with that beautiful Omen flash from Smoggy. What a setup for Chichu. And even at the end there, when PartyTech gets unflashed, the poise on Chichu, the confidence.
Chichu.
It's back, baby.
There's that paranoia that you're mentioning.
Look at that.
Yeah. Woo. The first one was free. The second one was steady.
Anjir mereka nonton dongak mulu.
It's a hell of a start to the half for EDG. And it kind of felt like they needed that.
3 Bulldogs, a pistol, and a Spectre for EDG.
Woi, hilang tuh kepala dua ya.
First 2 kills. Now 3 remain for Heretics.
Kayak jadi keinget tadi.
That's everything you want out of the Bulldog. Scope did kill that little burst shot. So nice, and they're just not stopping at all. Kong and Howdong, the IGL. Everybody cleaning up the round with Bulldogs.
Wow.
Super healthy going into this next round. I wonder if Smoggy even tried to invest here. All he used was a ghost in that round. And the cool thing about this
Bang, lihat pendapatan gua di minggu pertama. Belum. Berapa? Lihat di mana?
And yeah, Heretics check that B main smoke. But 2 players.
Main gua di iPad susah ya ternyata ya. Nge-switch-nya susah aja. Lo harus main kayak 4 jari.
You were wondering whether or not Smoggy would invest because all he had was
Henhao ya, Henhao nih. Fei Chang Henhao ini.
They have a very good chance of at least damaging the economy of Heretics here.
Flash dart combo, a little bit of space, take an elbow.
Oh, they're fighting.
But Smoggy and nobody, one over the other. And it's a 1-for-1. Managing to TP to get away. Meanwhile, Kong satchel to get back towards A, so he's not going to have that as the rest of the round goes on. Still has room to play around though, as he has quietly slipped. Back box. Getting tagged by his teammate. Paranoia, but finding the right time to swing and landing the shots too. 8 bullets left though, 18 HP. He's been surrounded. Too many targets to choose from. And Howdong left in a 1v3.
The trades were perfect for Heretics. Kong, I mean, he almost had that one. Now it's all left down to Howdong in this 1v3 to IGL. And he has a trip in front of him too.
Harus di lantai ya.
2 players of Heretics are low though.
See if he tags onto any of them.
Nge-wave karena otak dia memproses 1 detik lebih cepat dibanding.
I mean, you painted a really good picture. The trip, the fact that there are 3 on the other side, he's by himself.
Bisa tuh di atas box
it would be so difficult to connect on, and then the paranoia timing from Boost just so nice. As soon as the smoke goes down, he realizes if they're going to be pushing from that side, the paranoia would connect. Haodong looking to catch anything on the way out that he can. He will find one.
This is no problem.
That's all he'll get. Heretics get to 9, and the attempt at a bonus, the possibility of one is gone.
Yeah, EDG did a really good job into this round of, bringing it back and getting a lot of the guns out and armor. Now, the buy from Heretics is kind of scrappy. We're seeing a Bulldog out of Rians. Here's the nice trading onto the actual site when the hit came for Heretics. But Kong, I mean, he got in that site, and if this keeps happening in the future, maybe when he has a Vandal that can one-shot headshot, that's a completely different round. Maybe EDG take that round. There will be another 3-2 setup for EDG. They're opting to play really far back, and oh my gosh, speaking of an op.
The op in the hands of Kong.
And he's easily one of the best oppers in the game. Smoggy here, he played this round. He played that spot last round, and it's all to set up Kong here with the operator.
Again, and now he's holding the line. He took the game by storm with this weapon. Can he connect again? Yes. Not able to satchel away, though, as Rians puts him down. Heretics with a numbers advantage and space to be gained on the site. Smoggy close by, Chichu as well. Kept back by the smokes. The tags through, they might try to wrap around him.
They might find a window of opportunity here on this wrap around. I mean, right now, Boo is not ready here at all, but
drops the smoke to cross.
Speak of the devil, but if they just face check this, they still might find the timing.
There's no way to expect that. That's what they'll be. If they don't make any noise, Rians is looking that way. And he drops the first. That shot was so clean. Chichu in a 1v4. He's not standing up to that.
And the trading from Rians onto Kong in this round, that was ridiculous. Mid-satchel, he insta Kong. And, I mean, that operator entry, that was beautiful. Tries to satchel out. I mean, look at this. He's stunned. Oh, my gosh.
It barely left his feet.
He's so quick. And then he closes it out with this.
This was really nice by Rians. I mean, we talked so much about how that double late wrap into elbow could have been disaster. If Rians isn't looking that way, there's so much value found.
And a lot of that was off of Woot actually taking that space in CT. Right. They don't have to worry about lane whatsoever because the Cypher Cam's there from Benji Fishy. Where else are the players?
Right.
This time around for Heretics, a very quick A default.
To get Woot that showstopper, you're right.
I like that play from EDG. The last couple rounds that Heretics have gone A, they've kind of been in that elbow area. So that was kind of a read that EDG thought they had. But this time around, Heretics, they tap the orb there and they just wait and pause, waiting for a trap play.
And then when they do commit, EDG aren't able to funnel in behind it quickly enough. A little bit slow on the draw.
The rotation was perfect for Heretics. This is a really nicely really nicely called to the round.
Hanatech invests his ult. Haodong's utility is not going to be a factor here. And they can just run him down, or at least try to. He will fall. Every single member of EDG has met their demise so far. Kong and Nobody, the only two that remain, approaching the site from opposite sides.
I mean, just look at the mini-map, how together of this Deathball Heretics is.
What?
Entering the site, you have to fight 2-3 people in front of you with gun disadvantage and utility flooding you. And then they all get out together.
Right, and then if you somehow win those, you're going to have to deal with the rest. A miserable spot to be in. The tap of the spike, drawing out action.
But
when you have that big of an advantage, it just looks easy. A flawless round for Heretics as they get up to 11.
Good discipline from Heretics. Even at the end there, using utility to fight the last two players, not dropping guns. I mean,
honestly, in a 5v3 there, you don't necessarily have to be disciplined, right? You think, all right, we're able to clean this up, but they play that really well.
That'll seep into the minds of EDG, not only on this map, but future maps when Heretics are on post plants. And it can be so hard to play against a team that is like that. It kind of feels like you can't really do anything.
Right.
If you force the issue, you're just going to get met by 2-3 players in a crossfire.
This is aggressive out for Woot, the satchels, but it's actually Kong who invested his ult on the other side. He's going to find plenty of space. Now it's Woot's turn to try some of the same. The ult not connecting. Both rockets traded. No kills found. Heretics pushing forward, but you've got a lot of presence here. Chichu's just playing on the other side of the smoke. He will fall as Benji Fishy goes backside. But Smoggy on the counter, Smoggy on the punch, 3 found. but Benji Fishy closes it out.
Habis. Wah.
It's again Heretics fighting together on the site. This time they get delayed by an Omen smoke on default. But Rians with that Sova drone, I mean, it just goes straight through the smoke. That gives the confidence to Woot and PattyTack to just run through and just trade out. And the aggressive trip from Benji Fishy as well onto that market area. Yeah, Smoggy gets this third kill after that trip connects, but it's so hard to do more off of that.
I mean, he did everything he could.
What did he say?
They're getting really good at censoring them so far.
Yeah, they are. Another quick
Anjir, jago banget ngesensornya ya. Highlight loh padahal loh. Itu hitungan detik loh itu. Langsung disensor anjir. Prompternya sih gokil loh.
Haodong try to take things into his own
Kan
hands
replay nggak nyampe berapa detik setelah kejadian ya, dia langsung bisa sensorin anjir.
Now that Cypher is going to give full info.
They're all here and they know
Profesional, ini profesional namanya.
Trying to get across over to Mark Wood with the fadeaway shot. They're just not missing right now.
I mean, you can't make it up.
Ente.
What was that?
Aduh.
Thrash will connect on
Kena
Rians,
satu.
nobody falls. Smoggy will too. Dominant
Habis.
from beginning to end for Heretics.
Game map 1 ya.
EDG did do better than the previous two teams. They got 6 rounds, but
yeah. But I think it was like 3 rounds and 4 rounds, now 6. It's been ugly. We'll see if Split tells a different story on the other side of this break.
Tuh, disensor anjir, gokil banget.
That's the way I like
Kutukan
it as well.
voting ini lagi sih. Guys, kita dapat bansos lagi ya. Katanya dapat bansos karena apa nih? Salah translate katanya. Verdan Summit language setting katanya ada address hotfix. We sincerely apologies. Compensationnya 160 Astrid. Padahal nggak, siapa yang peduli, semua orang kan nggak ngambil signature ya. Ya itu. Tapi belum dapat nih. Kayaknya ada jam berapa gitu nih. Ntar gue coba cek ya. Distribution time jam 15 UTC 8. Hah? Jam 1 dong, jam 2 dong, 30. Oh itu kemarin guys. Ternyata kemarin itu bansosnya, kok gue baru dapet info sekarang. Kemarin ternyata. Menit guys ya, map 2 ya. Kiki aneh aja lupa ngerayain. Pasti ngerayain lah, nggak mungkin enggak nih. Gila, makanan gue baru datang anjir. Nanti live apa? Gak tahu nih. Gua boleh diistirahatin dulu sih. Kalau gue mau main di Central Plains ya. Menit. Kabar sama tim neraka lagi. Ya kalau ada game sih. Juni sih baru keluar sih game-gamenya nanti. Crafting dulu. Udah lihat trial MH Waltz, weh. Gue udah lihat beberapa minggu sebelum kalian. Dikirim sama Capcom, gue bilang kurang ajar nih, keracunin gue aja.
Yeah, so we kind of expected them to pick split, so we're well prepared for it. We've made a couple of changes to how we're going to approach it after we lost to G2. We kind of threw quite a few bad rounds, so for me, we're just going to focus on our fundamentals. And yeah, we've had a little bit of time to prepare, so hopefully the work we put in.
Kan gue sama Capcom kan udah kerja sama semenjak kemarin, jadi gue udah dapat info orang dalam.
Focus on the fundies. Man, I tell you one thing. When you guys came back to us here, I didn't expect Heretics to be up 1-0. Not to disparage the good name of Los Niños, pero you know, I mean, like it's EDG.
Oye, pero lo hacemos en español.
I can't keep up.
It's all right. I can take over.
But, yeah, you got this from here. But yeah, I mean, for real, like, what an unbelievable game that we just saw from Heretics. Really just showing everyone, proving everyone wrong about this team going into it.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to see Heretics being so confident. Well, not so surprised to see it on Sunset, right? To me, the surprise comes on from the side of EDG. We're talking about the Astra for the first time this year. So many things were different, and Heretics was ready.
And their retakes were incredible in this one. I think they had a really good game plan of playing heavily into back sites, especially when it came into these B hits, and then finding the right opportunity to flood. If you give this EDG comp time to set up in the post,
launching MH Waltz, wah itu masih lama banget. Tapi kalau nanti ada MH Waltz, sorry banget deh, channel gue jadi the Jooomers Waltz. Gue bakal main MH Waltz sampai gue bener-bener bilang gue bosen nih.
And especially the util coming from the initiator players of Patatech and Rians, I think were super impactful and set Woot up for a fantastic.
Gue ambil makan dulu ya.
I mean, I think that is like the best thing that we saw about this map. Yes, we saw a Heretics that was on point, that knew exactly how and when to start with those retakes, how to react to the utility from the Astra, even though it's not an agent that we see that much. But the massive highlight to me has to be Rians. During the Swiss stage, I think that he was a little bit overlooked because everybody was looking at Woods. You know, we had a reason to.
Of course.
But man, oh man, he's ults, he's shock darts. Even when he uses a drone and just catches someone across the cage, I'm like, this kid, when is he going to stop every single piece? Because sometimes we do not see the Sova, and we can understand why some teams do not want to go for it. But you tell me of one round in this entire game that Rians did not have massive impact with every piece of his util.
And I can't tell you that.
Exactly.
I don't think there was a round like that.
There really wasn't. I mean,
he's an incredibly impactful player.
He was contributing so much to it, and you know, I mean, we've seen what the impact of a good Sova player can have, right? You know, whether it's like Crashies in Americas for us, or even Calm, right? Talking about players who just really thrive in that role.
Leo.
But Leo in the MEA, of course, like just like to have that player be that impactful in the game when all eyes are on the other direction, right? Looking at Kong. But man, you have to be a little bit, you know, like concerned here going into it, because if they feel that confident in Sunset and then they've made those changes that Nilzinho said they made on Split.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be dangerous for Kong and the rest of the game.
It absolutely could. I think Team Heretics is really well adapted to the style that the CN teams are bringing. EDG played a lot of these slow mid-rounds. Team Heretics was really proactive at reclearing space, and they were always at the right place to flood retake on their defense. That wins you rounds, and it's how they got that momentum to snowball the attack side, or the first half, the defense side, that is.
Oh, of course. Well, let's go ahear and hear from Coach after, hear what he has to say as we get ready for Split.
Rilis bareng
Hey guys,
PC.
I'm here right now with
Feeling
After,
gua
and I
kuat.
have Luna to help
Kayaknya
with some
rilis
translation.
bareng
So
PC.
After, what was the most
Gua harap kalian main
difficult
Monster
thing
Hunter
about
Wilds
playing
juga
against Team
nanti.
Heretics? What were they doing that
Kalau lu
team,
mau no live
EDG
bareng
was
gua,
really struggling with?
let's
那请问一
make
下，
this
就是
time
在对
together
阵
ya.
TH 的时候，你觉得你们遇到的最困
Tahun
难的
depan
部分是什么？
nanti.
我觉得我们是在
Potongnya nih gue.
对于他们枪感上面嘛，我觉得我们上来适应的比较慢一点，然后他们看起来就是不管是补枪细节也好，或者是他们的
Soalnya wishlistnya barengan Steam
会比我
sama
们来的更
Steam
流畅一
sama
点。那我们
PS5.
尽量在下一
Gua
场
akan main
把
PC
这
kalau
这件
rilis
事情
bareng
做好，
ya.
然后并且
So,
把我们的
kita
枪
ketemu
补枪的
nanti.
协同跟上，然后就至少不要让他们是怎么讲，击杀我们的手杀多一点，然后我们还换不回来的局面上，对。
I think mechanically
Free
they
nggak
have
gamenya?
their aiming so
Gigi lu
like,
free.
so clearly
Ya?
and they got their key. It seems
Gila,
like
game begini lu masih mau minta free,
And when they
anjir.
got the first kill, we definitely gonna work
Ya
with
deh.
our synergy and our aiming.
Well,
Main ML kalau mau free main ML.
We'll be on point as we head into the next map.
Kayak 800 ribuan sih.
Well, they're going to need that synergy to really synergize because
Gila,
I mean,
game
look,
beginian
they're
masih
looking
dibilang
out of sorts
free
in
atau
that
enggak?
Sunset game, which is,
Gokil loh.
You know, not what you would expected from an EDG
Kalau gratis
team
pun
that's
gue nggak bakal mau main. Gue maunya bayar baru gue main.
Absolutely, I think we
Ini
also
game
saw
gini
players
masterpiece,
in terms of
cuy.
what he's talking about the aim there, who need to step up not performing. This is one of the few maps where you watch Kung and you're not blown away, right?
Yeah.
Like these guys,
Sekarang
the
merah
individuals
apa?
were one of the big
Split.
reasons they were lighting the world on fire in their international league, and we weren't seeing that here. But going into Split, this should be comfortable territory for EDG. They've played it a ton regionally.
Silent
They're
Hill,
really strong on
kok
this
di
map,
remake
and
Silent
Heretics
Hill-nya
struggled
agak
last time we saw
agak
them.
Yeah, they
clunky ya.
struggled a lot. I'd love to hear
Nggak tahu,
that
Konami
you
kayak
know,
udah
they've already
kelamaan
changed
nggak
some
bikin
things,
game
maybe
gitu
some
sih. Kayak
changes in the
Silent Hill
composition.
franchise-nya
We were
kayak
talking
udah
about Heretics.
mati
He's no
gitu.
stranger to the race, but something needed
Ya
to change.
original sih,
Also,
cuman
in the
kayaknya
fundamentals level is very important because G2 got
gimana ya?
clutch
Kayaknya
after
suruh
clutch
Capcom
after
aja
clutch.
deh
We're
kalau
talking
buat
about
remake begitu deh.
3v1s. It's talking about the kind of situations that you
Kayak
don't lose.
agak
And regarding the
gimana gitu.
compositions, I was highlighting how EDG changed the most of the compositions, moving from Masters Madrid into stage 1, and now they're
Guys,
doing
gue
it
fokus
again. I
dulu
want to
ya.
see
Gue
if
lagi
they're
mau beli bahan
gonna
nih.
keep that up on Split.
Pencet
If you give
bahan
up the
lagi
Viper
banyak sih
for
nggak
the
lucu nih.
Astra, as I said,
Beli
first in the
tepung
year for them on
maksimal
Sunset. Are you
1000.
going to
Gue
do
beli
the same on Split? Is there
90
something that is
aja.
going to be a constant?
Well, there you go. That's the first change there.
love that for
Heretics
Team
not on the
Heretics.
raise, and now you got
Makes
Woot's
sense.
going to be taking that role.
Woot's
which I
always been a
agree.
great Viper player, but I
Tunggu,
think
nanti
putting
gue
him on the race
beli-
here just makes sense.
gue beli
He's been
banyak
an
lagi kan
incredible
konyol
form,
ini.
and he's already proved to have great synergy with the
Ya,
initiator.
Konami kayaknya udah
I completely agree.
tahu
But
ya.
again, all the
Taste-nya udah kayak hilang gitu loh.
EDG and how they're going to execute with this composition, you know,
Kan
is nothing
kasihan
crazy,
orang-orang
nothing
yang
that
udah
we haven't
nungguin
seen
ya.
before. But we need to see some comfort. Kangkang was coming alive at the end of that first map, but it wasn't enough.
PaperX is already waiting in the lower bracket in front of their home
Ketemu
crowd.
PaperX kayak kita
EDG
ini.
with these expectations
Terus sih kalau
can't
EDG
lose
lo
already.
ketemu sama
EDG's
PaperX
got to
sih.
send this one to a third map if we want to stay alive in the upper part of the bracket. Let's send it back over to your casters, Doug.
Kayak
and
kemarin
Big
lagi.
Dick.
Thank you so much. Split on the cards, and you know, Neilzina was talking about how they knew what were the adjustments they had to make. They changed composition, they changed roles a little bit more specifically, but I think the big takeaway is not just those minor adjustments like that, Dre, but I think they're really prepared for what's going on here. They knew EDG were going to pick Split. They knew what tendencies they like to lean around, and more importantly, they knew their weaknesses when they played against G2.
Yeah, and when they played against G2, I mean, they didn't really show much of anything. I mean, they got completely steamrolled. You know what I mean?
Right.
The only shining light was Heretics' attack side. So the fact that they're starting on this defensive side again, if EDG try to go in with the game plan
Assassin's Creed kayak masih lebih gua
it
anticipated
might
sih
not work
untuk
the same
main
way.
sih
But I
dibanding
mean, we don't really know yet. We do
dibanding
know that EDG is insane on the
Silent Hill sih.
attack. We know that Kong likes
Lanjut
to use
gua
an
nggak?
attack
Nggak tahu
operator,
nih,
which
gua
is
udah
very
tahu.
unique, especially in a comp like this. Sometimes they'll leave him on an island working B main alone. I mean, remember Champs, remember all these iconic moments that he's had with that attacking operator. Yes, it was a different composition and nobody was on that jet to support him, but I imagine he's still going to do the same thing. I've seen him do the same thing in the Valorant Chinese
Ini
match.
gua lagi masak. Gua lagi masak di WUA.
We're finally getting into things right now.
Masakan terbagus so far di WUA itu
Going down, I apologize.
I am being told there is a tech
crit
delay.
rate nambah 28%.
But haha, we fixed it. I mean, we didn't.
Sama
We didn't do anything.
attack tambah
Except stay here.
33%.
And now, it's been fixed. Now we're getting into the action. Now we're
Sama
going to get to
ada
see how EDG play the attack side. You were mentioning the importance of
masakannya
Kong
Jian
with
itu
the op
crit rate sama
and how
attack
effective
nambah.
he has historically been with it. see if he can do a bit of the same. Heretics, they've promised adjustments.
Ooh, silent but potentially deadly approach to the round as EDG. No utility invested at all. This contact style is just in the meta right now.
Toggling of that wall.
Here we go.
Now the nade, the flash, the swing. Howdong tagged by Boo on the other side. And Patatek has played his position perfectly. I don't think they know he's here. Meanwhile, Boo's trying to strike at the zone. 1 for 1. The paranoia is perfect.
That's bomb too.
Can they settle on this? They're all here.
There's 3 players that'll just fight this A ramp while one watches the vent. But I think they made a step smart. He should be aware. He does the damage, but he can't convert.
Now Patatek filling in behind it as Howdong falls. Chichu will join him. Pistol the way of Heretics.
Wow.
That was nice. A heaven control. Patatek just tucked that entire time in heaven while Boo is there just taking pop shots. And honestly, Howdong, he jiggled that. He saw Woot there, but it was just still the mechanics of Woot that has been prevailing for this Team Heretics team.
I really like you mentioned it earlier, but I really like the way Patatek played his positioning there, waiting for Boo's paranoia to come out, not just the pot shots, but the utility as well, and then the swing behind it. How do you really handle that in such a tight choke? You can't.
You really can't. And now for EDG, every time you go A ramp, you have to be worried about that A ramp re-clear.
Right.
Yeah, it was only pistols, but you see the potential that they can do, the damage they can do.
Right, and the ideas that they brought into this map.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem like they're interested in A-ramp this time around. They get the Orb B into the hands of Kong. With the Sheriff in hand, there's a slightly different re-clear.
Gets the info.
Persistence. Very nicely done.
And a Judge at the end of this, too.
We saw some Judge antics in the previous map. As silly as they were.
Didn't get as much value as we thought it would, but the follow-up utility is what shined in that moment. This time, I mean, Rians, he doesn't have any help at all. No util, nothing. So he has to really at least kill 2-3 players even. Otherwise, EDG will have a free A site. On the minimap right now.
And a Judge.
Yeah. On the minimap right now, we saw Woot moving, but the contact will be here.
Oh, they're trying to fake that it's a mid hit. There's perfect, it's 1. But that's all it is, so the Judge will get picked up, the site will be open, Kong finding value, getting a little bit closer to that ult. But you've got so many rifles on the other side, this will be so difficult. Kong with high ground, he's gonna re-clear heaven, he's potentially gonna re-clear ramps as well.
Ini boy istirahat, burn out udah.
Burn
out seriusan, ngomong gitu.
The pressure from Heretics on A ramp, I mean, I think you heard that.
With nobody at his side. A reposition, now tucking back elbow. The paranoia again is going to connect onto at least 2.
Oh, pro player bisa
where's
burn
the
out
flood
juga
behind
ya.
it? The spit keeping him back for now, forcing them to come out through heaven. Boot creeping forward, Kong with the Judge, finding value. They're able to snatch this thing back. Oh, but it's only 1. Disaster avoided, but damage dealt from EDG, man.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
Nah, kalau gue nih yang dijual apa ya? Pengen nyoba, tapi cuma 1 minggu main.
And then this time they're able to get the bomb down on top of it, do even more damage.
Kalau lu cuma ngincer story sih, mendingan nonton aja sih.
I mean, he's already 3 to a
Gua
showstopper.
sama Genshin ngejual gameplaynya sih.
That's gonna be big for the future rounds. Here's the replay.
Sama kayak Genshin juga, dia punya cerita sendiri, punya mekanik sendiri. Kayak bener-bener plek-tipleknya aja sih
On the
menurut
side
gue.
of Heretics, it's this disciplined approach on the retakes. That's why they had so much success
Both
on the
are
last map.
on the same genre.
I didn't really catch what he said
Cuman
right
beda
there, but I imagine
fandomnya.
it's, you know,
Yang satu
just keep
udah
it calm.
sepuh, yang satu lumayan
One way
sepuh.
already bested and disrespected.
And Woot, he started on the A side of the map early on. But since there was no rush, it looked like he was playing for a rush. Since there wasn't one, he's able to lean already towards the B side of the map. And the proactivity right now from Heretics is really impressive.
Kalau cuma buat story nonton aja. Ini game gini kan butuh waktu banyak ya buat tuh invest.
So decisive, so
Kalau nggak suka game-game grinding, jangan.
Well, and the desk was talking about it, right? They've kind of gotten used to what these Chinese teams are going to want to play. These slow defaults at the beginning of the attack rounds. If Heretics can find the right place to strike, as they have been doing, as they did on Sunset, as they've done here, they're going to continue to punish it. And it's little things like that decision right there at the beginning of the round to pounce B main that will give them this advantage.
doing such a good job, Team Heretics. That's gonna force the A split, the walk up. But there's trips here, Doug.
30 seconds left.
Deep smoke into spawn. Patatech will have to clear it.
No way.
Now gets through Rien's, finding a little space behind it as well. Oh, how does BenjiFishy get away with that? With the ghost. Is he able to upgrade a weapon? Yeah, he is. 10 seconds left. The spike's out of reach. Smoggy's gonna have to push his way through it just to pick it up. 1 kill found, but that's another round the way of Heretics.
Oh my gosh.
That's perfect.
EDG. They're kicking themselves for losing that round. BenjiFishy with the ghost and elbow. I thought it was over once Rians ran through that smoke. Here's that proactive start to the round. Poor Kong, he saw nothing on his screen, but White, oh, yeah.
For him to get away with that. And it was off of, I believe it was Patatech who was spamming the smoke from spawn. That caused the turn, and that was all it was.
Yeah. And EDG, they picked the right site. They actually went the right site. It's just, they just got baffled by the crossfire from spawn and elbow.
So they're back to pistols. All towards A right now.
And they're making it seem like it's just a Cypher lure. But again,
the proactivity,
oh my god.
So clean. And yeah, it's just against pistols this time, but they're decisive in every decision to make Smoggy with a couple of really clean kills to switch it back. Gets up into heaven, punishes Patatech. Marian's on the trade. A 2v2 now as Kong is spotted. Look at the beckon for the swing.
He knows he's low.
Daring the challenge. As the wall goes up, Rien's finds safe passage. Not able to land on BenjiFishy, who continues to be a problem. Chichu with the Sheriff in a 1v2. Rien's weak. Oh my gosh, that was the weak one. Chichu's not able to land the shots as Benji cleans it up.
EDG are doing so much damage on these eco rounds, and they're getting the bomb down on top of it. So yeah, it's helping their economy, but it's coming down to these 2v2s that are just not going their way.
Ini ada apa nih?
They're trying their darnest. I mean, Smoggy this round, the upgrade into heaven with the Omen.
So clean.
Oh my gosh. He almost got that last kill too. And if he gets that, it's over. He just 1v5. That was not the case though. And that's that 4-round mark for Heretics, causing a timeout for EDG.
Just like
Sushi, salmon, mentai roll, something. Itu akun gue pernah lu review di Gunnar Pelago.
Wah, slow approaches in the early round from EDG.
Lupa tuh gue.
This time around, I think that they're picking the right sites a lot more than the last map. But I mean, it's just like heroics from Heretics. They're playing off of each other so well.
And I think it goes back to a word that you and I have used a lot throughout this tournament, and that's disruption.
Yeah.
That just really feels like the approach for Heretics here. Don't let them settle into that slow, defaulty attack approach. Don't let them settle into feeling out the map and then striking where they want. If you're going to take the fight to them, if you're not going to allow them to settle in, you're going to leave EDG in fits, and that's exactly what Heretics have done here.
Yeah, and that slow approach is how G2 absolutely destroyed Heretics. They completely dismantled them. They manipulated them around the map. They had them run circles around the map.
Right.
So now, I mean, the name of the game is proactivity based on any spot that EDG are even making noise. In this case, it was off of a Cypher trip, but they don't even care if it's a lurker, if it's the main pack. They're gonna take that fight aggressively. So for EDG, they might need to try to bait out that trap utility, act like you're taking space and hold for the reclear. Maybe then you can get a punish.
EDG menang game pertama.
Sometimes it can be so
Menanggung
hard.
malu.
Especially with Heretics, they're just on point right now with their mechanics. Their aim is, they're just dialed in on their crosshair.
Chichu has thrown this orb a couple of rounds now.
He's ready to just go for another aggressive play here with Rocket. And it's off of the cam again. Just like Sunset, Doug.
So that orb going up and down suggests that somebody could have crossed back behind the box that you see on your screens right now. That's why Wood has to be a little cautious.
Oh, EDG need to back up right now. They understand the showstopper's there. But if I'm Woot right now, showing that Roomba on B, I'm already going back to A.
Yep. Or at least going towards mid.
Yeah.
But he holds a little bit longer because the orb has gone back up B. EDG wanting to explore the middle of the map here. With Patatech close by and BenjiFishy, who again has just been such a thorn in their side. Can they punish this? Gun spotted, rocket out, not connecting. Patatech will fall. Now the neural theft. Slowing things down even more, giving EDG even more options. Smoggy has already gotten back B. benjyfishy, the only one who's close by. Spam connecting a little bit, but the site is theirs. Oh, the flash is so perfect. Kanka can't see a thing, but Smoggy and nobody can, and they connect. EDG with a big advantage here, but slow it down. There's no way Wu pulls off this 1v3 with 11 HP, no shot at all.
Another proper post plant from EDG. They look so good in those moments when they get the bomb down and they're kind of freezing the round. In this case, Heretics, yeah, they got that nice pop flash from Rians, but there are players from EDG waiting. Anti, they're playing anti, they're waiting. Even this, as everyone is taking B, having control. Howdong just holds for that vent push out, and I mean, that was all she wrote. I mean, it was a really clean post plant for EDG.
Yeah, but the problem is they haven't been able to get into those post plant situations. Yeah. I think they've got to solve that piece of the equation, because you're right, when they get there, they look comfortable. When they have time to set up, when they're playing the game, the rounds at their timing, it's great.
And they were fortunate that that showstopper from Woot didn't connect, because everyone was funneled in such a tight area there.
All side for Util A. Most of the presence of Heretics there as well. It's just Boo who's got a sheriff playing mid.
It's a really scrappy buy from Heretics as well. I mean, yeah, they have some guns invested, but EDG will now know that the B Heaven player is using that sheriff. Maybe something to punish. Oh, but Heretics aren't budging at all. They're just staying in their setup. Why not? Why not gamble at this point? I mean, if they go B, you can go for another retake round, whatever.
Right. And you got Rians' ult.
And oh, these double trips, this could be really bad for EDG.
Is benjyfishy gonna play spoiler again?
I've got your trail.
Interesting timing on the Seekers.
That should give the info that might cause a transition into vent and going B.
They've gotten Heaven space. The Seekers that are being traded, it seems like they're still considering it. Have not left Heaven. They've got to be cautious about this crunch.
And the time is going so low. If they're going to go B, they need to go now.
They're patient with it. benjyfishy again, getting the first. Wood on the cross, and now time is up. They can't really reconsider this. They can't really decide to flip the map. They've got to commit A. 10 seconds left. They're starting to find some of the advantages. benjyfishy has not moved at all, finally falling. He's picked up the spike, but there's not enough time. Again, it burns way too low.
Oh my gosh. I mean, a bit of fate played into Heretics' favor, because EDG, had they had gone B, I mean, this is a free round for them. I thought after they invested the Seekers into this round, they saw everything going towards site, they would know it's a stack.
Yeah.
But they don't know. Maybe there's a judge in vent or something, you know, it could be so worrisome.
There was something that they saw where they decided to stay A.
Yeah. Maybe it was the entry they got. It kind of worked against them. This new split from Heretics, this defensive side, it's looked like night and day. They look so much better.
Look at the position Boo has taken. One way, yeah, he is. And he was set up off of Rians there with that flash. This one way coming through a little bit later. I wonder if that makes EDG second guess it, yeah.
But him alone, I mean, he just got a raised nade out by himself. Investing what? A rechargeable utility and then, yeah, 1 TP?
Yeah. You take that trade any day
I was literally about to say that. I'll take a Noman TP for a raised nade any day.
Kong still has 2 satchels and his rocket.
I have the spike.
This is interesting here too for Heretics, because they haven't really been able to punish some of this early slow default from EDG, at least this round, right? In other rounds, they found a lot of success, but this time there hasn't really been a commitment or enough info that's been seen to want to punish.
They are setting up this B split. This will be where EDG want to end. But there is 3 players of Heretics here, and Rians, he's tucked in back sight.
Chichu goes forward with rocket, or excuse me, Kong goes forward with rocket in hand. Wu goes up top, it connects onto Boo, but Wu punishes back. Oh my gosh, he's gotten the third! Wu single-handedly destroying EDG. And with 13 seconds left, again, time becomes a factor. Smoggy's healthy, yes. But now he's going to have the neural theft to deal with. Do they try to pounce? Patatek on the swing, willing to give away his life and secure the round for it. The clock decides another.
Oh my goodness, Doug. Woot is world class. I mean, he came to play
12 and 6.
Even if Kong went to rocket him, he tried to satchel. He's trying to get ahead of it right here. Doesn't end up dunking on him, but he ends up dunking on Chichu.
And then the other two after that.
God, he jumps up too. I don't think people understand how hard it is.
To settle your crosshair when you're up, yeah.
Exactly. And just like that, another gun round stolen for Heretics. And Woot, another showstopper. Man, Heretics came ready to play. Those changes they made, so fruitful.
And Zinho, I mean, he tempted us with it, right? He teased us with it.
Yeah.
Changes have been made, and we saw the obvious ones, obviously, at the beginning. Woot back on Raze.
Toxins going up.
Maybe that's all they needed, man.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And with the way the way he played the last map, he's had full momentum, full steam ahead. He brought the heat into this one.
I mean, honestly, the way he's played this tournament.
I still just can't believe he feels nervous. Does not look like it whatsoever. I mean, I'm sure he's not nervous now. You know, he's warmed up, he's a map in, but still.
Right. Yeah, he didn't look nervous when he stood up out of his seat there.
That's his baseline. That's so impressive in a player.
EDG with the lean B, but Boo's paranoia will delay things a little bit more. 40 seconds left, the satchel's out now. Kong with the Sheriff in hand. Patatek close by, but it's Rians who punishes.
Oh my gosh.
Another kill going the way of Heretics. But they've kept this really competitive here, but Smoggy's the only one left standing. He's got a stinger on the other side. He will punish with one. Baiting Benji Fishy into the swing, but not realizing it. He's got a really big window here to play around.
He's got to be so worried about everything right now in this moment.
He's going to upgrade a weapon. 14 seconds left. Benji Fishy on the swing! And he lands another filthy shot!
He insted him. No time to even settle the crosser, settle the movement. EDG, they look so good in these eco rounds when it's scrappy. I mean, they go trade for trade, but when it comes to the gun rounds, it's just not there. I mean, they did a really good job here trading out. Even the split in heaven, that was good, but that's what I'm talking about. It was instantaneously.
Vamos, Brazil.
What? Okay.
What? Huh?
The head coach is looking at him the same way. The supporting coach is looking at him the same way. And second timeout now for EDG.
And in the previous map, I don't remember what the exact score was, but it was in the first half.
It was 8-2.
8-2.
7-1 now, a little bit earlier.
But the same concerns, the same problems.
I will say, though, the last time EDG did take a timeout, they did bring that half back, and they closed it out. So this is a good moment to potentially get a 7-5 half for EDG.
Sure.
They should be able to have a really good buy into this round. They saved the last one. It was a little dodgy, but, you know, it's fine. The thing is Heretics are winning these rounds without having to invest a lot of big ults into them. And then they use them for the gun rounds.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, again, EDG's on eco.
Right.
They have a great showing, comes down to a 1v1.
And then Benji Fishy shatters the hearts of China once more.
Yeah.
And then we just replay.
This team in general, they've just gone toe-to-toe with the Chinese teams, and they seem to always come out on top. I mean, FPX really did give them a run for their money, though. This time around, they're not having it.
Don't keep them
Light armor on 4 members of the attacking side. Same orb from Chichu that we've seen the last couple of rounds. What is the approach here?
Toxins going up.
Slow default hasn't really been getting much value for EDG.
No.
Usually you try to bait out some utility with this, but Heretics are just so calm, they're so poised to not use anything early on.
The paranoia out in the face of Rien's. Boo repositioning, still saying clear of any of that utility, but Smoggy clotheslines him. On the swing, it looks clean as the fight ensues up in heaven. Rienzo still dancing around Woot. Close by with Rocket in hand and satchels to boot. He may not have to use them.
Spike down B.
It's just another dominant stomp.
They know exactly where Chichu is right now. I mean, even Woot just jiggling in spawn here. Why not use the showstopper? He saw him.
Yeah, I guess.
An easy cleanup.
You're so close to the end to have two. The probability of getting another is pretty low.
Heretics aren't even giving EDG a chance in those rounds. In the gun rounds.
Yeah.
And Patatek, he anchored this B heaven space so well. That molly to dissuade everybody to run through from middle, and then he focuses B main.
Exactly.
And then he snaps back. I mean, it's textbook.
He just plays that so perfectly, understanding his window is there for him to focus on site. You're absolutely right.
And the star of the show. I mean, Woot, he's sitting at 14 kills. 14 and 7 to be exact. This kid is something else, man.
On the other side of the stage, Smoggy's the only one who's kind of close, 12 and 7, but no success for EDG.
And Smoggy, he's looked great. He's opened up a lot of rounds for EDG, but they just cannot close it out. Oh, here's that punish proactivity again. Oh, wait!
That wasn't supposed to go that way. Whew. More loss there than I think they would have preferred. They got the dog, they got the paranoia, and they got Woot dead. That doesn't feel too bad, but Kong going so far up by himself, there's no way the rest of the team can join him. Now a TP through from Smoggy, but at that point it's late. They've already lost their duelist. The pit invested, Chichu falls. Now they're gonna have to dance around Patatek's ult.
Heretics right now, they're just ready for everything. The protocols are in full effect.
Nobody and Smoggy get to the front door and they knock, but they're not allowed in. They have to creep around this pit. Maybe they get into spawn and try to flip the map, but the problem is they have 30 seconds left. There's not a lot of time to think this through.
So awkward in this sky flash from Rians.
Oh, he's gonna but he's not able to dodge the flash. I love the idea.
There's an opening now. There's a chance.
20 seconds left. Boo's hot to trot, rotating over. Starting to corral and control them as they drop the pit. Patatek falls, a 2v2 here.
10 seconds
Persistent
left.
in the attempts. Boo's on the flank, the spike goes down. So does Smoggy.
Clinical right now from Heretics.
Even the little things, man.
Yeah.
The little things are going the way of Heretics too.
Slowly creeping up B heaven, taking your timing when the bomb is being planted. And the protocols that I was talking about, they're trying to punish the Cypher lurk. They get that done, but on the opposite side of the map, you have a Cypher, you have a Viper that are anchoring the B side.
Right.
They're beckoning EDG to run into that trap setup. And you see the cage come up, all of a sudden, Kong is isolated, and it's just, it's brutal right now for EDG.
And it may have just gotten worse. Woot has purchased an op. Rotating back A, and that's where EDG's headed. Crosshair trained. Target found. Kong down.
Fun fact, Doug, I did tell him when I saw him in the bathroom I wanted to see him buy an op on the defensive side, and I'm glad that he did.
I'm glad you were able to communicate that to him.
True story. I'm actually serious.
Benji Fishy again is still playing back here. Woot taking a lot of damage, and it's Rians who punishes.
Hello, Andy.
I must wait a moment.
All of these conversations about EDG playing in front of a home crowd, the #1 seed out of China, how they're going to have the 6-man behind them. And it's true, because every single time EDG finds the tiniest bit of success, this place goes insane.
Yeah.
But Heretics have silenced this crowd for 11 rounds now.
They've definitely asserted their dominance in this series on these two maps. It's not over yet, but you can't help but feel like it is. Like the life is just sucked out of the arena right now. Everyone is in shock.
Last round.
I mean, it's 10-1, and you go, okay, Sunset, that's a really good map for them. We understand, but Split should be a different story. Kukuka mentioned on the desk she was worried.
Yeah.
And for good reason. But Nilzinho just kind of gave the finger to all of that.
And you know what? When you get rolled the way that Heretics got rolled, the second time around, you're way more confident going into a map like Split.
Yeah, 1000%.
Because it even came down to like shots just being missed for them. And honestly, I feel like we'll have a similar narrative for EDG the next time they play Split.
Possibly. An aggressive take of A-main. Paranoia,
Yeah,
flash, satchels out. Boo, you madman.
He just ran into the full race nade from Kong. A little over-eager.
Mati sama
A
Sekjo.
little overconfident.
This is a really aggressive pit.
Just delayed.
Meanwhile, they're going to try to take main, but they have all of these trips. One of them already spotted. Benji Fishy punishes. And he's going to spot even more. Has to try to play his life here. Got to be careful as he spots another. The cage goes up. Haodong on the swing. Really nice footwork by Benji, but it's not enough. 3v3 for the site now.
And if they can get the bomb planted, this is where EDG have shined in this series.
They've spotted Kong. And that's their big success right there. You're right, you just mentioned it. This is where success comes through. Kong finding pad attack. These post plants have been good. And they're digging their heels in on this one.
So disciplined is EDG.
There.
Heretics are slowly creeping up, seeing if there's any mistake that EDG are making. But right now they're making none. Kong, he might find this timing right here.
Very nicely done. The ult invested a 1v1. Surely you don't lose those like that. A 4K for Kong as EDG get their second, a silver lining on what's otherwise been disaster.
A direct hit. That's not something you see every day from that showstopper. I swear that thing just peppers players sometimes, does like 20 damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's Woot just so confident that he was gonna get past that raise nade. And Kong, he woke up in this last round. Man, Smoggy's sitting at 14 and 10. Nobody else at double digits.
10 to half the way of Heretics. EDG look lost, lacking answers. We'll see if the desk can answer some of those for him.
I'll tell you one thing, Doug. I'm not sure at this point. Like, EDG is really on the struggle bus, and you got a Heretic squad that is just looking like phenomenal, truly. Let's go ahead and take a look at our HyperX Reflex moment of the day, because you got to give it to the boy Woot, just wooting all over everybody. I mean, this kid
He's just that Woot. The satchel over the rocket is utterly ridiculous.
It looked like, you know, like in the old James Bond movies when you have the ejecto seat car, you know, like you just like
Satchelnya dipakai buat nahan.
What was that?
This kid is on his best days. Oh, damn. It's just crazy to see that Team Heretics can go from that previous split that we saw the other day to this, having control over everything, leaving the exactest pace and reacting to almost every single thing that EDG is doing. And on the end, just look at the end of this round. It happened like what? 3 times that EDG run out of time. They couldn't even get the spike down. It's very concerning to think that the attack went this way.
And it's really similar issues to what we saw from some of the other Chinese teams that have already been eliminated from the tournament. Attacking sides where you're not getting enough information, you're contacting and waiting for a mistake from your opponent that never comes. And then you're losing these late rounds. And those mistakes, I mean, they've snowballed into a dominant, likely 2-0 here for Team Heretics.
And you know who got all that information on the Chinese teams? Heretics, because they ran through it time and time again. It was almost as if they got the blueprint, and now they're just a few rounds away from winning this 2-0.
Yeah, exactly, but they still have to close this. They need to keep their head in the game because Kankan on the previous mob, he came alive in the later rounds, and he can still do it now.
It's going to be quite the climb for EDG. Can they do it? Let's send it back over to Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much. EDG down 8 rounds. And again, during that halftime break there, the crowd was doing their best to will them back into this map. Maybe it's off of Kong's back, maybe it's off of Smoggy, who continues to perform, but there's got to be a spark here. There's got to be something to kindle these flames.
It's just so tough because nothing has gone their way, even the 1v1s, right? Benji Fishy just shutting them out entirely.
Yeah.
The shining star has been those post plants, but this time it only accumulated 2 rounds for them.
Right. And now you're going to have to deal with Woot on the attacking side.
Yeah. And already Heretics doing a 4-1. They're fainting the sky.
Lihat kenapa Omen beli armor mulu sih awal-awal.
Flash was invested and now
dua-duanya Omennya beli armor.
They're keeping 3 players here. It's a perfect call.
I don't know if there's been enough really for EDG to want to move a couple of these players. 2 of them got
controller.
Paranoid, Woot the only one who has not. And he's going to be the one on the swing. The snap on Haodong is perfect. Not realizing there's another on the other side. Smoggy's able to punish. But he will fall. Chichu trying to wrap around Pillar. Things slow down for just a moment as the dog now from EDG is intended to create a little bit more space. Kong up high, has to get the space back down, and Rians with the frenzy at that distance will drop the duelist.
Utility-nya nanggung.
Falls down to a 1v2. Chichu with the ghost in hand, 57 HP. Spike not in hand, but the shots from Patatek come through.
Great trading from Heretics in this scenario. It got scrappy. There was a push and pull on the actual site. But that frenzy, it was perfect for the situation that Rians was put in. Those close range gunfights, all he has to do is spray and pray. Imagine we're gonna see the replay right here. Even the instant ink right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Steady with it.
Oh, he got him too in the back.
Waving in and out, just like gliding.
Maksudnya dimajuin gitu. Pas dia paranoia gitu.
All steam ahead for Heretics here.
Let's flip and go, Doug.
11-2. A couple of members on EDG have to invest. They force up the Stinger and the Spectre.
You have to.
Yeah. Oh. That might be the only thing that's gone wrong for Heretics this map.
Literally. And a slow approach from Heretics. They know that EDG, if they want to win, if they want to come back into this map at all, that they have to do something crazy, something outlandish. This trip isn't broken either. What? Oh my gosh.
It's a pesky one. Out on with 2 bullets left. Trying to land the shot. Hasn't managed to, but he got what he was looking for.
It's a great opening.
Yeah. Chichu finding some success.
And that's A site shut down, so that's going to funnel Heretics to speed up B.
It seems like EDG are ahead of it too.
Yep.
Because Smoggy and Chichu have already started to lean. As soon as that kill came through, they started to rotate. Remember, it was Haodong who was the first one here. The dog out through the smoke. The cage goes up. This rollout is really nice, but Haodong not able to find any success on the other side of it as Smoggy will fall too. They still have the 2 weapons they've invested, and Chichu's share of strikes again. Now, finally, falling Kong from up in heaven, getting a couple. A 1v1, and Boo's gonna get the kill again. Just when it seemed like Kong was gonna deliver magic, Heretics get to series point.
It's the same narrative as those 1v1s on the opposite side. When EDG were on attack, it was Benji Fishy that was winning the 1v1s. In this case, it's Boo. But honestly, Kong, he did everything he could. He had to reload here, and the patience of Boo, I mean, just tapping away. Securing the round win, and you have to buy anything now for EDG. They have rifles, they have Spectres. No ults online. Chichu hit some really nice share of shots.
It's been borderline perfect up until this point. Kong's able to get a couple of kills back.
Finally an advantage for EDG in one of these rounds.
But is it too late?
Feels like it is, Doug. While all that's happening, all this B main pressure is happening, Benji Fishy is solo taking A ramp control. He broke the Cypher cam, so that will bait over a rotate from Chichu to try to help his teammate.
If he catches out Haodong here, this would be big.
Almost does.
And he does. The problem is, while that fight was going on, Chichu has started to rotate back A as well. The truth is, Heretics have a fully open map right now.
Yeah, I was about to say that opens the middle area of the map for Heretics. Once Benji Fishy sees this Viper, that might be a cue for Heretics to maybe go back to mid.
They're gonna lean into this. They're still coming this way.
I mean, sometimes just grouping up and healing your teammate is the right call. Just trade out. They've been so good at trading in this series so far. Doesn't get traded this time around. That cage was the problem for them.
Oh, Chichu's filling in on the space. And Kong from the other side. Oh, I thought it was going to happen. Kong gets his 4, though. EDG gets a 3. And the rocket's online for the duelist.
Yeah, he hit some crazy Spectre sprays. The first time in B main, the little collat right here.
Yeah.
This was really nice. And then in the back of the A side here. I mean, it's not easy to get kills with this distance ahead of you. He was dead on. So clean. You still can't help but feel like it's a little too late.
Certainly looks like that's the case on the face of the coaching staff, but Kong has been a spark before. Maybe he can do it again. Aggression from Heretics at the beginning of the round. They just satchel past the pit. They just fully get ahead of the pit. What was intended to be mid-control has been lost right off the bat, and now the pit goes down.
It's ludicrous.
Now Haodong, with all the pressure surrounding him, will fall. Kong is able to get one, make that a second. the Spectre and the Ghost on the other side, the Paranoia out. This might be too much even for Heretics to pull off, but Kong will fall. Can they upgrade the weapon from there? No, I think it's a little bit too far away.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. This rotation because of the Omen ult. Pattytech has having control.
Yeah, but he's already been flashed off. They understand where he is, or at least have a good idea about it. Can they close this out? Boo's upgraded a weapon, a Guardian in hand now, but he's playing close. In elbow. Nobody and Smoggy both there. No Paranoia, no Flash, no Dog. Just the smokes. And as the spike continues to tick away, urgency continues to swell for EDG. They've got to go here, and they've got to go fast. The first one through. Pattytech still playing up in heaven. He's crept out on the other side, confirming that there's no presence. One comes through, but it falls down to ones. Pattytech playing up in heaven. Time is so short. As the smoke goes down, he tucks behind him. Smoggy has to hold it, not even able to get it to have damage dealt. But I don't think he's got enough time. The Grim Reaper.
So clean now.
Take a look at a couple of these highlights once more.
Oke guys,
And honestly,
habis.
give you a
Watch partinya habis.
There's going to be a lot of
Udah jadwal ya.
And a lot of pop-ups just like that.
Besok kita ada Fnatic versus FUT Esport.
I'm in awe right now. I voted Heretics to win this match, but I didn't believe that they were going to do it in this fashion. I thought it was going to be a 2-1 close game. Kind of like how they played against FPX. Thought it was going to be this back and forth battle of two titans.
And honestly, they did it with style points. The Des talked about Wood and his creative satchels, getting past Kong's aggression, the rocket not connecting. Rians was a freak. I mean, everybody. Every single player.
It was the synergy. That's what it really was. They played so well together today. The trading was on point. The entries were on point. Retakes, post plants. It was everything.
Main follow malam
We
ini.
even got Obama's Brazil out of there. So I'm not really sure what was going on there, but I mean, when you dominate a team that bad, yeah, you give a little gas to Brazil as well. Why not? A completely dominant performance from Team Heretics, and now the Verizon post-match interview with Pattytech.
Berarti ini jam 6-nya langsung lower bracketnya atau gimana?
Team Heretics 赢下了本场比赛的胜利，我们也是请到了 Pattytech 选手来接受我们的采访。Welcome to the post-match interview, and now I'm joined by Pattytech from Team Heretics with us.
Hello.
Hello. Would you like to make a short introduction to our audience?
Can you repeat the question?
Would you like to make a short introduction to our audience?
Yes. Hello, I'm Patryk Fabrowski. I'm best standing in the world for Team Heretics.
也是跟大家简单的打了一个招呼。那接下来可能想问一下 Pattytech 选手，因为现在他们已经和3支来自 CN 的队伍全部交过手了，也想问一下他现在会如何定义 CN 赛区的打法风格呢 ？Now that you have fought against with 3 teams from CN region, so how do you define the playstyle of CN?
Can you repeat the question? It's really hard to hear.
Yeah. Now that you have fought against all the teams from CN region, how would you define the playstyle of CN region?
How would I define it? Probably with one word, kind of crazy, not gonna lie. It's a completely different playstyle compared to Europeans and Americans and like Pacific. But they are pretty good, not gonna lie.
他说他觉得 CN 所有的队伍的选手都是非常厉害的，而且打法风格很疯狂，而且他们的打法风格其实是非常非常不同的，无论是和欧洲的地区比，还是美洲地区比，还是太平洋赛区比的话，都是非常不一样的。而且他认为大家都非常的出色。那接下来也想说，其实他们今天的表现是非常好的，也想问一下他们对于今天这场比赛的准备工作有多少是基于他们曾经在瑞士轮的学习呢 ？So your performance was excellent today. So how much preparations coming into this match was based of your learnings from the Swiss seed?
Honestly, the 3 days that we had off after the win versus FPX helped us a lot. We prepared a lot of things that actually helped us to play like well in scrims, and we actually showed it right now on stage. So I would say that those 3 days really helped us to like solidify our gameplay and our play style.
他说，其实他觉得瑞士轮的这段经历是非常非常重要的，在这段时间的比赛里，他们也有了一个很大的提升，尤其是他们可以在今天把他们所有训练赛里的成果，所有训练赛里打的好的东西展现出来。可以说，在瑞士轮之中的这些学习，都让他们更加巩固了他们的打法风格以及他们的基础。那接下来最后一个问题，因为其实他们即将在下一场比赛再一次对阵到 G2， 那对于这场比赛，他们需要如何准备才能赢下来那个之前他们没能赢下来的对手呢 ？So you are going to have to face against G2 one more time. So how are you preparing to get a win that you were able to secure last time?
I think we're just gonna play our game. I think, like I said earlier, we solidified our game style to the point where we are not scared of anyone. And I'm really stoked to play against G2 because we wanna get the revenge against them. Like, to be honest, we should have won. So it's really nice to have one more shot against them.
他说，对于他来说，他真的非常期待和他们的这场比赛，因为对于他们来说，他觉得准备工作其实只要是做好他们自己的东西就行。因为对于这场比赛来说，他很期待他们可以实现复仇，并且赢下来这场他们本该赢下来的比赛，而且在这场比赛里，他们一定会发挥得更加出色的。那再一次感谢 Party 选手来接受我们的采访 ，and that's all for our interview. Thanks for joining me. Good luck on the upcoming matches.
Okay, thank you, and I love you guys. You are the best crowd.
对，最后还是要对大家说一声，他很爱你们所有人，咱们是最好、最优秀的观众，对于他来说。那我们的赛后采访到这里就先结束啦，拜拜。
And there you have it. Team Heretics gets the win 2-0 over EDG. I can't believe that happened. But I mean, well, let me rephrase that. I can believe it.
But
I just can't believe it the way that it did. Yeah, exactly.
I think we were too hyped for seeing EDG. We were talking about it, but we were watching it and thinking about the other CN teams that we had, and FPX was just so incredible to watch. How close they took everything. That, you know, we expected a bit more.
The best crowd, anjir
I mean, I definitely expected more from EDG. But I mean, Woot was lighting the world on fire today.
Wow, look at that.
Definitely the make or break.
Yeah, this was from the results of our Massacre fan poll. You guys had picked, well, I believe it was Jing for that top spot. And, well, Jing didn't have the best of days today, but Woot most definitely did. And hell, I'm going to give flowers to Icy, because Icy played great today as well.
And for a guy who has gotten so much criticism, has had a lot of matches where he doesn't perform. I think he has gotten better every game we have seen him here at Masters Shanghai. I think this guy is stepping up on the big stage, and he's been critical to this G2 run.
He was one of the main reasons why they were able to close that last map. It's not the same having almost 300 ACS in 2 maps as dominant as Team Heretics was as to having it in 3.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that Woot was pulling off, though, was... I still... am blown away by that satchel play. That was just so, it was like the Matrix. It was just like a movie.
The most ridiculous play of the event thus far.
Had to have been. It was super
Actually,
cool.
I remembered Berlin. Never mind.
That's actually
it's
true.
Up there.
That's
it's
true.
Up
Berlin
there.
one was wild. Oh, man. All right. Well, guys, with the playoff matches in the books, our first round of playoff matches in the books, I should say, here is how the bracket is shaping out right now. We're going to get a rematch between G2 and Heretics. You heard Patatek talking about that. Felt like they should have won that the last time they played. Well, he's going to get to prove that
Look at this lower bracket. PaperX, EDG, Fnatic.
Talk about being the first seed. Talk about being the first seed. Well, one of them between PaperX and EDG is going home.
That's wild.
Also, the history of that matchup. We have seen it many times before. It always delivers as a
Berarti besok
PaperX
Fnatic
has historically been kind of the kryptonite for EDG. So that'll be a good one. And then you get a regional rematch between Fnatic and Foot. That should be fun too.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be, especially that first one, the EDG Paper X. After what we see, what we saw
harus
today,
kerja Rodi, nggak boleh kalah sama sekali kan berarti.
How much this tells us
ACS
about
average
the form
combat
that
score.
Heretics is in right now, and how much
Biasa
of
gue cuma
the
50
EDG
gitu itu average combat
Yeah,
score.
for sure. And you know, I mean, they're in Shanghai. You gotta feel that.
Anjir,
you know,
bener-bener
like,
kerja
kind of
Rodi
like
tuh ya,
that
nggak
bounce
boleh
on your
no
back,
room
right?
for
Is that
error tuh ya.
Right what I'm thinking. The monkey on your back. That's what I was thinking.
Kalau kalah nggak bisa ikut champion kan atau gimana?
Chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that one.
But monkey on your back, I think, is also.
It's applicable.
I'm really good at it.
Pulang atau nggak dapat poin atau nggak? Bisa tetap ke champion ya?
Actually would not. That's my dog right there. All right, folks. Well, here are the matches coming at you tomorrow. It's lower bracket action. We're sending home 2 of these teams tomorrow.
Besok guys ya, tonton ya. Kalau gue watch party lagi, kalau gue bangun ya, kalau bangun pun paling kita sempet nonton PRX sama EDG sih ya. Hari ini gue beruntung banget gue bisa bangun siang ya. Ntar kayak gitu lagi. Kalau gue bangun, kita nonton Natik ya. PS clear bracket, EDG clear upper bracket, biar Asia Pasifik bisa bawa trofi.
What do you mean? I'm correct.
This is what we live for.
We're bickering about
Jam 3 tuh jam-jam nanggung loh, jam-jam gue bangun.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I bid you adieu.
Masih bisa penonton ke champion tar regional stage 2 1 minggu setelah Shanghai selesai.
Thank you all so much
Oh gitu,
for welcoming me
oke.
here in Shanghai, and of course to my lovely crew. Love you guys very much. It was a blast.
Oke guys, jadi ini dia watch party hari ini. Terima kasih semuanya udah nonton bareng sama gue. Dan thank you sekali lagi buat tim Riot.
That's gonna do it for me. Thank you all so much. Love your faces. I'll see you at America's Stage 2. Tomorrow Yinsu's in the chair and Mimi's about to pelt my face with a rabbit. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.
I missed.
And you missed! You missed! I'm never playing with you. Never playing with you.
Ntar gue streaming lagi ya. Oke. Dah.
Here we go. PaperX versus G2.